Hello dear friends, I'm Marina from ourstars.net and this is your daily astrology horoscope for the 17th of January. Today the transit moon is in Gemini, the sign of communication, connections with other people, intellectual work, and also a sign which can bring more variety and more exciting experiences. So prepare for a more dynamic day, probably a little bit more interesting, and also great time to focus on communication with others and maybe learning new information or working or processing this information. The day is also very interesting for traveling as well. But keep in mind that the moon will make a couple of challenging aspects during the day. The first one is the opposition with Venus. This can bring some kind of emotional, unbalanced situations. Communication with women might be more challenging in general. And also we may feel like we cannot take everything that we want, or we cannot do exactly what we want. Venus is the planet of our desires. Venus currently is in Sagittarius, so it's really about our dreams and our truest desires. And when the moon makes an opposition with Venus, it means that it may not be so easy to materialize those things. We may feel like somebody else is restricting us, or somebody else doesn't give us what we want. So from that perspective, we may need to work more to get what we truly want. However, the aspect doesn't bring serious confrontations. After all, it's not like Mars or Uranus, so the energy is not stressful, but you may still need to work on that. The other two aspects that the moon will make are with Neptune and Jupiter. There will be first a square with Neptune, which may bring some kind of confusions at some point, or some kind of misunderstanding. So pay more attention to the details, to the small things. Make sure that you're not forgetting something important about your promises, about your obligations, about your contracts or trips or whatever you're working on. And just make sure that you're also understanding correctly what other people are saying to you. And also the last aspect that the moon will make today is the opposition with Jupiter. This may bring some kind of frustration when it comes to our goals or our desires. We may feel like we have to change something, or again, this may include another person, because the opposition is an aspect which suggests that there is another part here, another person involved. So make sure to be more concrete, to be more specific when you're expressing yourself. Be open for a new opinion, for a new understanding. After all, we have a very active Gemini Sagittarius axis today, and this is the axis of knowledge. So be open for a new information and maybe for a new approach, and you may notice that your results would be better. So that's the most important today. Let me know what are your thoughts. How do you feel? How are you experiencing all of those aspects? It's really interesting when we can exchange this type of information. That's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.